Okay, welcome to this video on Nine Kings. Nine Kings is a roguelike strategy game. I'll say a bit more about it in a second. It's very new. It's just come out at the end of May 2025, and it's new to me as well. I played one game through just before this video just to see how it worked. So let's give it a go then. So let's do a new run. Right, I played as the King of Nothing last time and I failed. I'm going to play as the King of Spells this time. Let's try that out and let's see where we get to. Okay, so I'm going to keep the difficulty relatively low for now. I think we've got a series of options. How do we do this? What are we doing? Oh, these are the cards that you get. Okay, so you can see different card types that you can choose from, and they do different things. So there's a mixture of that's quite interesting because last time it said something like 693. So you're at war with different kingdoms who have different powers and different setups. I'm going to put the citadel back there. I'm going to put this spire here. Okay. So you can see I'm still pretty new to that. I thought I'd get to play all of my cards. You only get to play one card per turn. So let's see what we got. We need some troops, I think. So let's get some fast and aggressive troops with many small units. Let's play the imp card here, and you can see after each turn basically we go into it advances. And your troops go forward and you do this sort of auto battling, and you've got just enough because you control your castle and these area troops. You have basically you have just enough to do to stop you getting bored, is how I would put it. So I'm going to get some ranged troops. Wizards are ranged troops, and let's start again. And these early battles are fairly straightforward. As I said, I found when I played this a previous time, it worked. It was fine, fairly straightforward actually, right up until the last battle, which was horrendously difficult. So let's see. I think I'm going to go with this one. Actually, I think I'll go with this one. Unit explodes when killed. So you want to give that to your troops that are at the front. Let's just have a look at these cards again. So we've got the Warlocks. Sturdy troop that deals melee area damage. Unit causes area damage equal to 20% of its attack when it kills an enemy. Okay, so let's put these Warlocks down. So they're kind of like heavy infantry. You've got the imps that are running to the front. Okay, so that's another round gone. You get one card per turn. Every so often I think if I get this Citadel card, I can upgrade my Citadel, but that might be complete nonsense. Let's try it. Oh, every so often you get this thing called a Royal Decree. Doubles the movement speed of all your units. I'm not sure that's that helpful actually. Doubles the amount of healing rays of your spires. That feels like that would be useful. So let's see, can I... Yes, I can upgrade it. With a Citadel card I can upgrade my Citadel to make it more powerful. So I think what that's doing is it sort of pings off different troops, which is quite helpful. So this one's quite nice. The Demon's Altar, it gives you a demon. In terms of how I'm arranging this, you've got some buildings which can help benefit the troops that are around it, and I don't think I've come across one of those yet. So I think the intention is to put, actually I really should have put my citadel in the corner here, probably over here, and then I could have had another troop there and a sort of troop enhancing building here. I think that would have been the thing to do, but what can I say? I have failed on that account. So I'm going to put the demon altar here, and that gives you a demon, and also it kind of gets these slowly. It kind of you can see a little demon there. Here's me clicking. I should have explained this. You can see there's a little bar when I was firing. If this seems a bit abstract, there's a little bar, and that's my castle shooting some lightning at people. Right. So every year has a 50% chance of duplicating an enchantment of one adjacent troop. Okay. So this could be quite useful. This is where I'm thinking that for that slot in the middle, something that would, so this will kind of slowly increase the power of those troops. You can see that the armies are getting bigger and bigger as we go along. Okay. And I think we've got quite a few sort of destruction cards, so I think there's something in this game about getting rid of cards and sort of optimizing your stack. It's kind of one of those sort of stack builder type games. Right. Okay, so I think for this one I'm going to go with, let's go with the library. Blessing. My lord, the prophet has foreseen a blessing in 9 years. Doubles the HP of the card on the target plot in the year of the prophecy. Peacetime. Okay. Right. That is where I'm going to put my library. So let's do that. So it said fail briefly there. So it tried to upgrade one of them and failed. Okay, so what have we got? The last build I played, I had 2 defences and I had 2 banks as well that were helping in terms of money, and I had mercenaries, and mercenaries scale with the amount of money that you've got. But I completely failed the boss battle at the end, so I'm kind of thinking that was a bad idea. Right. I don't know that I really want. I think this is the one I want. So this is quite useful. So this is where we start to scale up our troops. I'm thinking that this is probably most useful. I think I failed that roll on the library. Let's see. Right, so I'm not sure I've explained this terribly well up to now. So you can see the little bar. They've got some riflemen, it looks like. King of Progress, so they must have more advanced technology. Oh, and because I've beaten the King of Progress, I think I've got this Progress card. Right. Those troops look pretty decent, to be honest. So the question is, turns enemies into rats fighting for you. Rats inherit converters stats. I've not seen this before, so I'm going to go. Let's go with that. That's quite cool, isn't it? Right. So occasionally you get these messages. Diplomat, my lord, it is time to wage war against another king, and then you've got to choose which one you want. Let's go with the King of Nothing. And these are the different. So these are the different armies that can be thrown against you. So let's go with that. Let's stick the converter down. Let's do that. So this is kind of a defense tower that turns your enemies into rats. I just think that could be quite powerful on the basis that it's a zero-sum effect, right? So not only are you getting rid of the enemy, you're also enhancing your own forces as well. Right, I think I want to upgrade my citadel. Okay, I think that's the highest it can go, 3 levels. I've got feeling that's true. Okay, so you can see there's a bit of squeaking going on. I don't know if you can hear that. These riflemen are quite interesting, actually. I think there was definitely a rat at the back. Right, so what have we got here? Overhaul, destroy target plot to level up 2 random plots. So this is... that's kind of interesting. Each use, 1 more plot is leveled up. Okay. Tank unit that doesn't attack but reflects all taken damage. Again, I've not seen this before, so I'm just going to do this. Right, and we've had a merchant arrive, and basically this is where you can use your money, so you can play a bunch of cards at once. So, let's see. Every stat of a troop or tower by 15%. That looks quite powerful, doesn't it? I've not got loads of money because I've sort of, I've not really had much of a chance to get a lot of money. It's difficult to know. 9 units feels like it might not be that much. If I get that, that looks quite good, but then I sort of think, and then I have to save some money for that. So I think I'm going to go with this, and I think the price is scale. So I like the idea of poison for the mages because they're shooting right from the start, and also let's go with this as well. Okay, and that's basically all. I've only got 15 gold left, so I'm going to leave. Okay, so right, so I want to add some poison. I'm gonna upgrade these guys as well. I'm gonna play the tanker. Okay, so we've got kind of an interesting little troops going on. Lightning, I'm just using lightning at the back against these ranged units, and yeah, we're sort of rolling these people over. I think we get to year 30 and then the boss appears. At least that's what happened last time. Right, so at this point, this is where I started to find it quite tricky. So I feel like I should have... I'm sort of thinking about this one because I might want to get rid of the library, but I haven't really seen a card which is better than the library. With the last game there was something like a blacksmith which was quite helpful in leveling up troops over time, but we don't seem to have that for the King of Spells. That was with the King of Nothing. So let's go with let's go with this. Let's go with this, and let's see. Every so often this thing pops up, the magic chimney, and it's probably not what it's called. And so I think what I want to do is I want to put again another unit enhancing building there, and then 2 more units here and here. So the sensible thing to do is to expand here, I think. Right. Unit explodes when killed. So I've wanted to use these for a while on my imps, yeah, because that means as they go forward they'll sort of do a lot more damage. There we go. So that sort of felt okay, didn't it? Demon's Altar. So can we do another Demon's Altar? I feel like this grows and scales in the same way as the other one, so that feels kind of like a good thing. I think you probably need a couple of... I'm going to go with that. Let's put a Demon's Altar there. Okay, right, so I'm going to try and target these big guys at the front because they're probably the most dangerous. Okay, and then these groups of archers, and you can see the battles are starting to get a bit longer, a bit more intense. Okay, so we've got a chance for the blacksmith, so I just not sort of need to keep this in my stack of cards, and then I'm hoping to use it up here when I get an additional square. Re-enchant doubles all enchantments of your active troops, increases the damaging range of area attacks. That could be quite useful actually, because I've got at least one card like this. So let's do that again. Right, so more carnage, more explosions. That sounds like a good way to go, doesn't it? Right, okay, and we're off. Year 14. The difficulty hasn't ramped up yet. Particularly, I'm just taking it, using my lightning to take out these stacks of ranged troops. Got about 3 rats there going for it. That's working quite well, isn't it? Every year has it. So I don't want to do the library again. Ranged troops. Do I need more ranged troops? That's an interesting one. Buffs allies attack damage based on its own damage is kind of interesting as well. I think I'm going to go with a shaman because we don't have one of those so far. I don't really have anything to play here. I mean, I could get rid of one, but actually I'm not at that stage yet because I don't have anything to replace it yet. I could replace it with the blacksmith, but I'd rather get an extra square and then play the blacksmith there. So I'm just going to sell this basically. So you can use that well to sell cards. This looks like quite a big army to me, but let's see how we do. Okay, right. Okay. Bit tricky, but we're getting there. Okay, there we go. Right. So overhaul. Destroy target plot to level up 2 random plots. Each use, one more plot is leveled up. Okay. Unit's first hit is always critical. That feels quite good, actually. Because if I can give that to my wizards, they're always going to hit someone, basically. They're ranged, they're always going to hit someone, so if we can get a good first attack. Oh, this looks pretty deadly, doesn't it? Okay, we were all right in the end. I thought we might be in trouble. If an adjacent unit dies in battle, summons an imp to fight in its place. Okay. So I don't know if that's. I think that's a building. So that would be if I don't actually know how that works. So let me get that. Let's see. Is that a building? Peacetime. Okay, right. No, that's a building. So that would be instead of the blacksmith. That's quite good. It's probably better than the library. I don't know, because I haven't got a card. I don't know what I can do here. I can't destroy. I would replace the library with a cemetery because I think that's quite useful. I've got imps as well. That would be pretty powerful, I think, actually, even if they're unbuffed imps. If that's a phrase. But I'm going to get rid of the shaman because I think I need to play something. I might be wrong there. I might not have needed to do that. So now I'll get rid of the library and I'll replace it. Okay, so that was pretty hard going. Okay, so I think we might that might be a bit of a warning sign. Highly defensive melee troop. Or we've got the farm that every year adds +1 The problem we've got now is I actually need to get rid of. I actually don't really have anything I can play because I can't play. I don't have I need a square to play something, and I don't really want to be honest, I don't necessarily want to get rid of any of these cards. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? I feel like we're running out of troops. I feel like this would be quite nice to have. But yeah, so I think this is one of those things where because you're fundamentally limited in how much you can expand, you can get to this sort of situation where you're not really able to play anything. I really like this one, and I think I like it better than this one, especially as we're getting on towards the end of the game. So I think I'm going to sacrifice Blacksmith. I'm going to look to oh my goodness, these rats. That's hilarious. The rat army. Okay, oh dear. And I think something clever about this game in terms of the design is just the fact that you have just enough to do to stop from getting too bored. But that was close, that was really close. Concabulator, I've not seen this before. When this building reaches level 3, it levels up all your plots. I don't think we're going to have time for that. If there's 30 days before we face the boss, I don't think we're going to have time. I'm not fussed about any of these, to be honest. I'll get this one, but I'm just going to... Right, so this is really important. So the question is... So I think we'll do... I actually want to put the This is really tricky, actually. I should have taken one of the troops. I can't remember if I've got another troop in my hand. What I really want to do is I want the cemetery here for the reasons that I talked about, because you've got quite a large number of troops, and particularly with the imps, you basically get a second life with each of those. I need more troops because I'm starting to get into a bit of a pickle, really. It's starting to get pretty evenly matched. I could put the cemetery here, but then I don't think it works as well with the Demon's Altar because they're quite big, beefy troops that tend not to get killed. So it's just a bit suboptimal, really. And I can't remember what my other cards are. I know I've just got rid of the Blacksmith. I'm going to get this one. Okay, so I've got this Paladin. So let's put the Paladin in. Highly defensive melee troops, right? I think we desperately need some more troops at this point. Okay, we are in a certain amount of trouble. You can see the demons there are pretty beefy. I mean, that one's still going. So I don't actually need any of these. I'll take this one, but I'm pretty much just getting rid of one of these at this point. Oops, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating because I really would like to get rid of that library, but until I get a card that allows me to do that, it's a bit tricky. These battles are getting very, very close, so I think we could do with a few more troop bonuses. What would be really good is some more troop bonus cards, basically. Cancels the first hit the target unit would take every battle. That's pretty good. Increase, so okay, we've got a royal decree. Increases the damaging range of area attacks by 30%. Increase the attack of all your units and towers by 30%. Well, that sort of seems to take precedent over everything, doesn't it? Doubles all enchantments of all your active troops. I'm going to go with this one because, to my mind, that's sort of right. So I've got to think about who's. So these guys are going to get the most hits. So let's keep them strong. And right, year 21. Okay. We're getting there. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. This is not good at all. This is terrible. Oh dear. That was very close. That was very close. Destroy target plots to level up adjacent plots. So that's basically what I'm looking for. Okay, so that levels up those. So we got stronger troops, but we're going to need to play that cemetery card next time. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Right. Okay, let's see if that leveling up has been... That seems to have helped. This is just a weaker set of troops. There we go. Okay. Right. Levels up target plot, I think, is a good one. My lord, our diplomats can now make peace with an enemy king. I think the King of Blood is causing us more challenge than the King of Nothing, so I'm going to go with that. These are your enemies, so we've still got these guys. Right, so I need a cemetery. Let's put the cemetery down. Okay, and then we've got a way to level up as well. Okay, right, so we've got the... Let's see how this goes. Seem to be doing better. I think that levelling up and possibly the fact that we've got more imps. Yeah, we seem to be doing quite well, to be honest. Okay, right. Executioner, Concabulator, Converter. I've not been too impressed with the Converter. I think I'd rather have some more troops, to be honest, because it seems a bit... Well, it's difficult to tell how much it's really doing. That feels useful because it's sort of picking off the weakest. Right, levels up target plot. So, okay, I don't know what that did, but I'm hoping it sort of... I'm hoping that it's a pretty good deal. Okay, so this is... You can see this is against the Spells Rebellion, so this is against someone that's got your sort of stack of cards. Combustion unit causes area damage equal to 20% of its attack. I think that's... I need... At this point, yes, some upgrades of that nature would be very helpful. Oh, I've not seen a rainbow card before. Passive backline unit, if killed in battle, generates 3 gold per level. I don't know what that does. Does that mean I can... Does that mean I can play it wherever, or do I need a square to play it on? Ranged sniper troop always attacks the most distant target. I don't see that that's super useful. Ranged troop that shoots huge bolts with piercing damage. That does seem pretty good. Mercenary scale with gold, and I haven't got lots of gold. Disposable melee troop levels up whenever adjacent plots level up with no max level. Assassin troop that jumps to enemy backline. Right, so I think I'm kind of curious about whether this doesn't need a square, in which case it's probably worth getting it. All of the others are troops, so I'd have to get rid of something in order to field it. None of these sound particularly, apart from the ballista. And then I think if I buy that, I don't know that it... I can re-roll. Let's re-roll. Okay. What would I actually like? I don't really want... Oh, it's Warmonger, which I guess means units. Let's try and re-roll again. I think these are all going to be units. Can be mounted by adjacent troops. For each 1 HP it has, increased rider stats by 1%. That's kind of interesting. I'll tell you what, let's try that. Okay, right. Now, oh dear. need a square to put these on, so that's not really very useful. Right, so unit causes area damage equal to 20% of its attack. I'm gonna let's put that on the imps. We've just got a load of imps, so why not? I don't. Yeah, that's not really that useful. That was a bit of a wasted experiment, and I don't think I need this. The ball could be useful if I get an additional square and I'm able to fill that in. So this is the classic issue about how much you're able, in these kinds of games, how much you're able to actually use some of the bonuses. There's a hard limit in terms of deployment, really, that's quite severe. That was okay. That was an okay attack. Right. Really what I'm looking for at this point in time is unit bonuses, because I don't have any spaces. I don't have anywhere to put any of these. Of these, this is probably the one that I would actually play. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I've kind of missed, which would be slightly embarrassing, but you know, that's hardly impossible either. Right, we're in year 26, so we're getting close. You can see, yeah, so that's the kind of boss level. Right, so I don't need the executioner. Let's get rid of him, or them. Right, there we go. Presumably there's more than one executioner. Right, wizards are doing well. It's pretty close, isn't it? I think the strength and depth of our wizards kind of helped there. Warlock, sturdy troop that deals melee damage. Yeah, go on, that's probably the best of those three. Right, here is quite an important. This is important. Okay, so we're going to build here, and we've got two choices. I don't know whether this is just about speed or whether it's about stats. Every year adds 2% attack damage, so I've got, let's see, year, I think that's 28, 29, so I'd get an additional 10% attack damage, which might be quite useful, especially given that that's sort of a scale thing. I haven't tried the boar yet, so in the spirit of experimentation, let's do this. I have no idea what's going on. Seems to be going okay. Not sure if the boar was the right idea or not. Okay, plenty of stuff going on. Right, I don't really want any of these. These are no use to me, but I'll take this one. What's this one over here? Paladin. They're quite strong. Let's see. So health is sort of 37. So they're quite tough. Not sure about these defenders. But it's difficult because heals your units that are closest to death during battle. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to get rid of this one. And I don't really know what those numbers sort of represent. Okay, so there's a lot of... I think the graveyard is really helping. You can see that my troops are getting killed and then become imps, and then they sort of leap forward. So that kind of second chance dynamic, I think, is working quite well. Right, so I could maximise here. think I'm tempted to go with this, because I just think that if the game was sort of endless, I might be tempted to micromanage a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to. Let's see, I'm just going to use this combustion. I don't need money. Doubles the attack speed of your citadel's lightning bolts. That's quite useful as well, isn't it? I think I'm going to go with that, because that sort of doubles everything, doesn't it? Right, and then the question is 20% of its attack. So the question is, how many have you got? I think it's going to be the wizards, isn't it, in terms of damage? Okay, so let's, yeah, that's quite important. Right, we're nearly there, nearly there. Wow, okay, bang. Nothing. This is tough. I think, yeah, our wizards are pretty vital at this point. Steel coat is useful. Let's go with that. That's a unit bonus. So let's stick that on the imps and keep them alive a little bit longer so they can do a little bit more damage. The good thing about the imps, I guess, is they've got this sort of explosive thing going on. So that's you can see the odd wizard turning into an imp as he dies and kind of running forward. Okay, right, and I think this is the big one. Unit's first hit is always critical. I think that makes the most sense at this point. So we're looking for really we want troop bonuses. Creates routes that trap enemies, 3 routes per level. Don't need gold. Multi-projectile tower sounds good, but I don't have any space for it. Adds 2% damage to all towers and base every year. That would be a great one to get early on. I'll just, for the sake of having a look, no, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything here that's particularly useful, unfortunately. So this is the boss battle. I haven't really got any space. So the only thing is, I think you want as many critical hits as possible. So do we do that? Why don't we do that on the wizards? There's not as many of them. I'm assuming these numbers, I don't really know what these numbers are. I don't know if that's damage or... Let's go with... oh, it's really tough. It's a really tough choice. I think it has to be the wizards because they always get a first shot, whereas the imps get killed very quickly. Right, and this is... I don't think this is... Sorry, this isn't the boss battle. This is year 31. It is a pretty big battle, though. I think it's going to be close-ish. I think we were fairly strong there. Oh, really needed a unit bonus there and haven't got one. I just don't think there's not really much I can do. I've already got a blacksmith. That's no good. And I've got no way to do anything useful there, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And that takes me through to year 30. It's year 33. Excuse me. Year 33 is going to be the boss battle. I might not make it that far. This is quite a tough. They've got lots of troops, although they're getting killed fairly quickly. We've only got a few imps remaining. Okay, it's very, very close. Very, very close. Okay. This would be great if we had a troop to put in it. You know what? I don't even know if it's worth it. The thing I'm thinking about getting rid of is I've got a warlock. I've got a warlock card. I think I will use this. We must play all of our cards. Okay, so that's interesting. So let's do that. And I haven't got anything. I can't do that. So that is that. So I've got a few more troops. Right, this is the big boss. I have... Okay, let's get rid of the champion of progress. Okay, I have actually killed the boss. I didn't do that last time. Okay, maybe that is the difference. They've got a lot of troops. They've got 180 to our 40. It is not looking good. 18, we've got 138, they've got... Okay, they've destroyed all of our troops. Oh, we're still converting them into rats. There's a tiny chance that we get to do it. Okay, right. I think if they get to the castle, we're done. I think... Oh my goodness, this is close. You wanted drama. This is drama. 30, 20. Oh, what happened there? Did we win? Your kingdom has perished. Oh my goodness. That was close. Oh dear. That was something, wasn't it? So we got very, very, very close to winning that. That was dramatic, wasn't it? I think they had 20 troops, maybe even 10. It felt like I was killing 10 at a time at the end. But that is that. We've perished. Blood runs down the screen. Let's just see. So I'll give you a sense. Okay, so that's some stats. There we go. I think that gives you a little bit of extra overall. What can we do here? No, it didn't give me another king. The last time I did this, it gave me another king, but that is it. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that was interesting. That's 9 kings. I think I'd want to play it a little bit more before recommending it. There's some interesting stuff going on there. There's also the usual kind of challenges and frustrations associated with these games where you've got some hard limits that mean you've got to optimize. But it's certainly worth checking out on Steam if you've got time. Yeah, interesting. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Thank you.